Today I am the actual featured presenter. I'm talking about relaxed teams. So first, I want to start with, oh, it's a little slow here on my, I don't know why my images aren't coming up here, but I did have some images that were supposed to be here. A DeLorean, time traveling machine. Do we have any time travelers in the group? No? Okay. So everything I'm talking about is going to be absolute. Again, there was two pictures here that made a little more sense. The absolute factors are that, time is the most critical element on this particular timeline in this particular universe. So as long as I don't know what happens on other timelines and other universes, but on this universe, time is the most critical asset you will ever have, and math is universal. So those are the two principles on everything that we drive everything upon, is that there is two overriding principles, is that time is the most efficient asset that you'll ever have, and that math is absolute. So what we do at Relax Tax is very simple. We apply math to these fundamental core principles, and we have a guarantee. We are going to be able to make it so that you retain more of what you earn, because we're just going to apply these simple principles. And if we don't, we'll be the first ones. So our recommendations that we give is that we recommend you fire us, that we've actually done everything we can do for you, and that you have what you need. So when it comes down to running and retaining more of what you earn, it's all built on the fact that you need to have liquidity. You need to be able to pay your bills when you need to pay your bills. The most important piece of your financial life, whether it's your business, whether it's whatever, is you need your liquidity. After that, there's a level of physical assets that are required. You need a car, you need to get to work, you need certain things. Then is where the leverage comes in, the tax, insurance, and from there, you want to have your retirement savings, and then you have your growth income. Now, what taxes is really just the government going back and asking you for these areas and an annual reporting on these particular areas. Well, as nice as it is, these areas are all you need to do to address these. So it's not an accident. It's not a coincidence. The government's just trying to understand what you have in your financial situation, and they're just looking for a reporting on it. That's really all taxes is, and a reconciliation. So what we do is first thing we do is when we meet with a client, we establish your baseline. We understand where you are today. And that's why we drive our guarantee. Our guarantee is 100% based on, okay, here's where you are today. And we guarantee you in the end of the year, you'll be in a better place. And if you're not, then we're done. Like, there's nothing more we can do for you. Like, we exist to put you in a better place. If you're not in a better place, my advice to you is fire me, because you've got all you need. And it's that simple. I mean, people make this stuff a lot more complex than it has to be. It's that simple, and there it is. So what we do is we take your tax return and we go through every element of your tax return, and we give you suggestions. So we don't just come back and look at these documents that you're required to provide and just blindly look at the numbers. We're saying, where did these numbers come from? How are you getting to these numbers? And is that optimized? So everything we do, you'll get, and this is literally what you get back. It's not some complicated spreadsheet. We do have a spreadsheet version for the people who want to get in the weeds, but you literally get this back and saying, okay, here's a summary and here are your next steps. Here's what you need to do. We suggest you do to get closer to where you want to go. And where you want to go is what you told us. We'll get you where you want to go. It's fundamental. It's math. It's math, and it's saving you time. And everything that we're doing is looking to save you time, because time is your most valuable asset. And we have a mobile app and a portal in order to you load those documents in. So again, you load up all your documents. You have a document. You have a question. You just toss it into our portal, and then we'll address it and go through as we go through everything. So as we get into the income itself, that's where this is where 99% of people think and focus on taxes. They're focusing on these letters and these numbers and these forms that the government gives you. And all that is a reporting of your income and where it's coming from. So again, in doing your taxes, by default, we have to have these forms. So we address each one while we're doing it. And we're saying, okay, here's some actionable items on how you can improve what these forms are telling you. It's not just that's this form, here's where it is. So here's some things that you can address. And we do this throughout the year. We're not just doing this at April 15th. It's we don't take clients in April. It's way too late. We're helping you throughout the year and we're working with you through the year. So the other thing is your expenses. There's deductible, non-deductible expenses, but they basically on the tax return and the different areas, they break down into these general categories. So we're addressing these general categories. And this is, the government has this for a reason because it's fundamental. These are the areas that impact everything. So the next step is we get into your insurance. There's insurance that's deductible. There's insurance that's not deductible. There's ways that insurance is not a tax. So, and there's different types of insurance, but you have to have these insurance. This insurance assures the liquidities. There's different things. Some are legally required and some are just logically required. And you go through, but you don't want to pay too much in the insurance that you have. So again, we're going to review the different insurances that you have, and we're going to give you suggestions to save on them, to do different things, to address it better. And everything comes back with your actionable items. Next up, we have your debt. Not having any debt is not a good thing. Debt can be a powerful tool. Having too much debt can be a very bad thing. And it's all relative. It's all relative to your situation and where you are. So we literally go through and say, okay, here's your areas of debt. Are they right? What can you do? How can you improve them? How can you not improve them? Here's your action items custom to you. This is what you need to do about your debt. And these are the suggestions. Next, we get into your assets. Here are your assets. What are assets? A lot of times when talking to people, we find out people don't really truly understand what is an asset and what is a liability. A lot of times they consider their liabilities assets. And when we break it down and show them, it's really a liability. It's not really an asset. And that's what's consuming a lot and why you're not retaining more of what you earn. But again, we don't judge. Whatever your goal is, we get you to your goal so that you have it. But this is, again, following the format of the tax return and all the things that are part of filing your taxes. Next up, we have your investments. And the investment areas, same way. They all have to be reported back. Showed earlier, the government has forms. They give you all these pieces. They are part of your pieces. So we're just assessing, okay, here's what you have. Here's what we suggest, and here's what you can do. And again, it's not my suggestions. It's the math suggestions. It's fundamental principles. It's this is what works. This is what doesn't work. And this is where you need to go. And it all loops us right back to the same place. It all brings us right back to, okay, here you are, and here's our suggestions. So each time we sit down, and we usually sit down about 4 times a year, twice a year, depending on your needs. But we're always engaging throughout the year. We're literally just giving you a to-do list. And we're saying, okay, this is what you need to do. And every customer will come back. And I've applied these fundamental, because it's universal, it's math, it's fundamental. It applies to multi-millionaires, and it applies to people who are at the poverty level. And it's just a question of where you are on this hierarchy at this time. And our goal is to move you up the hierarchy. And that's what we do, is we help clients to move up that hierarchy by taking it one step at a time. And it's just going through, here's what you need to do. And here's the next steps that'll get you further down where you need to be. Here's the next step. Here's the next step. And we give you that to-do list, and you won't do half of it. And then we'll come back and we'll say, you really should do this. And you'll agree, I really should do this. But then you won't. And then we'll come back 6 months later and then we'll do it. And the day we get to the point where there's nothing left to do, your life hasn't changed, nothing has changed, there's nothing to iterate, we say, we're done. Like, there's no reason to pay us. You can put this on autopilot. Everything will go. Everything will just happen from there. And that's what we do. That's Relax Tax. That's how we help you retain more of what you earn. It's why we focus on leverage, tax, insurance, and debt, because that's the thing. That's the magic lever. If there's a secret sauce to doing it, is the people who normally sell these products, who work with this stuff, make it complex on purpose, so that, and they fight with each other because they're all trying to optimize their dollars, not your dollars. We focus on optimizing your dollars, and magically it just works. And we go through that. So that's where Relax Teams came from. That's where the other areas came from. Because if you look at everything we do, it's after we help you retain more of what you earn. But we have to we start with what you earn. And as an accountant and as a provider, we have to start there and work from that. And that's math. That's easy. That's done. We've gotten that one done. So now our goal was, how can we really help our clients? Let's see if we can move it above the line. Let's see if we can help you earn more. And if you earn more and retain more, then you're exponentially better off. And that's how this whole experiment of relaxed teams got started, because we kind of were done with after you've earned it. It's math. It was done. So that's it. Does anyone have any questions? Or
I have a question, Dennis.
Sure.
So what's the payment model? Like how does it, are you paid for your time, or is it based on like how much you save the person?
We actually have a subscription. So what we do is based on the type of tax return you have, there's a model of, and we will just do taxes. So we have a tax prep group because there's people who just want us to do our taxes. Mm-hmm. So we'll come up with, and we'll just do your taxes. If that's what you want, we'll do it. We are kind of selective and limited in the clients that we use. I mean, like we will probably turn down clients because we just say, yeah, like clients who, this is what I want to do. I want to do it. I'm going to cheat to go. Yeah, good. Yeah. Go do that somewhere else. So yeah. We just don't do that. So that's why the first step is, you load up your information into our portal, and we have a process in which we go through, and our process works. And if you don't want to do our process, that's wonderful. Not everything's right for everybody, but you load the stuff in the process, and then it's a subscription model. So based on the type of tax return you have, our rates are pretty much in line with what a normal tax, or less than what most people charge for a tax return. But because we'd have to do this for the tax return anyway, so we're really paid. But we take it on a monthly basis. We get paid. Again, we make sure the customer's committed. So we get the payments up front, and it's a subscription model, because we like to talk about, do you want the person who's going to be after the fact, or do you want the person who's there with you all along? Now, if I'm with you all year round, I don't have any questions when it's time to do your taxes, because I know what the answer is. I know what I come to you and say, I didn't get this document, because I know you should have this document, because we discussed it here. We discussed it at this point. So when you get your hit list and your question, and again, we're really, really good at automation. So we've automated a lot of this. So it already comes back with, you'll get your to-do list, and the to-do list is automated. It's do this based on these things. You give us the information. If the information's not there, it'll keep asking you for the information. That's when we start doing the tax return. So again, we've made it efficient for our business to do it, and then we pass those savings to you. We don't have big fancy buildings. We are virtual. And we just don't, so we cut out all those costs. We have the best software. We have the best tools to do our jobs. We don't have big buildings. We don't have fanciness. I'm not a fancy guy. It's all about that pyramid, about getting that done. That's what we do.
Awesome.
Dennis, it's true. I just have more of a comment. I'm a client of Dennis's, and for me, I trusted Dennis, and I'm trusting the process. So this is my first year doing it, and I'm very, very excited to go through this journey with Dennis, because I trust him, and because I trust him, I trust the process. So I'm looking forward to it, Dennis. So thank you for being around, my friend.
Excellent. Thank you so much.
And I just want to do it also, like Dennis, we started with Dennis years ago in terms of looking at our financial plan and insurance and college costs and things like that. And Dennis definitely is someone who is not cookie cutter and doesn't just, do what the typical person does step by step. He really can take a big, broad view and help you attain your goals and reach your goals. And we're really appreciative of that.
Excellent. Thank you so much. So with that is my time. So I don't want to go over. So we want to go through and go with our guests. So as far as guests today, we don't have any guests at this time, but you are welcome to join us at any time. Here are samples of positions, of places, of roles on the team that we have open. Feel free, if you're not in one of these roles, to reach out. As long as there's not someone actively doing your role in the company, you can have that position and you can secure that position. And it costs nothing to join teams. You just need to be part of the team and help and committed to helping each other of the teammates grow.